I'm going to start recording. So hello, everybody. It's so great to see so many faces from all over. Jen's here. Hi, Jen. Both Jens. Tamara, Shelby, I'm still sore from a workout an hour ago. That was amazing. We just did a workout and I did yoga.
You did a 5 o'clock class?
I did. I really spent the afternoon working out, so I
missed my class, but I should have done Shelby's with you. Oh, well.
Oh, next time. Anyway, so welcome everybody. I wanted to talk a little bit about uncertainty tonight because everything is so uncertain. And I feel like we are obviously living in these crazy, unprecedented times. And I think that everybody is going up and down, right? I mean, I was describing earlier, the first week I was kind of like, all right, this is a little cool. Like I'm getting to just be in my house and be with my family and it's so wonderful. And then the second week, I was like, am I going to get this virus? And I started panicking and wiping everything down and it all became real and hearing of friends and people who have the virus. And then the third week, I'm kind of like, oh my God, how long is this going to be? So it's really just this up and down. And I think we're all sort of feeling uncertain because we don't know how long this is going to be. We don't know what's going to happen with the summer and with, I have a senior in high school. I have, is supposed to go to college, another one in college. It's just everything is so up in the air. So I hope that everybody is staying safe, that everybody is healthy, and praying for everybody who is not. And tonight we're just going to learn how to get our sympathetic nervous system to our parasympathetic nervous system.
Thank you.
Okay, so I am going to open it up first before we get started and see if anybody would like to share something positive that what they've done, today. That seems to be, people like to share their routines, maybe give each other ideas on, new things that they can do. And if you've been experiencing a difficulty, if you want to share that with us, we're here. I'm really here to try to support you guys. So if anybody wants to share anything, you can put it in the chat. Does everybody know how to open up the chat?
Yep.
Okay, great. So you can open up the chat and enjoying cooking. I see if anybody wants to share what new things they're experiencing.
The chat. Where is the chat?
You have to, on the bottom, it says chat. So you can open.
Or
You're on the top. If you're in all this background noise, I'm going to have to mute. I'm muting you all. I'm muting everybody. Okay, no more background noise. And if you do want to share something, you can put it in the chat. It'll open up to the right. If you click the chat button is on the bottom. But basically, dealing with uncertainty in this time, yes, getting better at remote teaching stuff. Uncertainty is anything in life, right? We always are uncertain no matter what's going on. We never know what's going to happen in the future. And I always like to say that when we're ruminating about the past and we're constantly thinking about how life was before this started, we're going to tend to get depressed. And if we're constantly thinking about the future, what is going to happen, we tend to get anxious. But if we can just bring ourselves into the present moment and just focus on today, then we can be more at peace. Because the truth is, nobody knows what is going to happen. And we can write these stories in our mind that create a lot of stress and anxiety for us. But the truth is, no one really knows. So living day by day and just focusing on the present and giving yourself the mantra, I am okay today, can really be helpful, because we really do run away with our thoughts And when we do that and we run away with our thoughts and we're just making up stories, we can really get into a downward spiral. So it's really important to learn how to manage the mind and how to take our nervous system from the sympathetic nervous system, which is the stress response, the fight or flight response, into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest response. And when we're in that parasympathetic nervous system response, what ends up happening is that our bodies are able to digest better, so we won't put on belly fat, right? Because the cortisol is going, and we increase our immune systems. When we're stressed, our immune systems are down and we're more likely to get sick. So being in this parasympathetic rest and digest system is really, really important. And that's what meditation and mindfulness can do for you. So it can really get your body into this. It's called the vagus nerve is the I don't want to get too technical, but the vagus nerve is the brain gut connection. And if we activate the vagus nerve, it helps our whole system to relax. And the way to activate that vagus nerve is, does anybody know? Put in the chat, how do we activate the vagus nerve? Through our blank. Going to be like a trivia. Who wants to guess it in the chat? How do we activate the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system? The breath. Yay, Jen, you get it. The breath. The breath is our anchor, and the way, everybody give Jen, okay, so I love these new reactions on the bottom that Zoom just put in. So put in a reaction. Do you see mine? I clapped for Jen. I'm so, yes. So everybody give like a little clap because Jen got the answer to the breath. The breath is our anchor, and the breath is always with us. I think Jen knows about the breath because she's pregnant and she probably does Lamaze and whatever, and a lot of breathing, or she's learning how to breathe, right? So learning how to breathe for everybody is crucial in this time. So if you ever find yourself in a story where you are ruminating about the future and the panic starting to come and what's going to happen, you can bring yourself back to the breath, and it will calm down your system into the parasympathetic. It might not be completely, gone or your symptoms gone, but it will help you relax. And there's just so much anxiety out there now. So this is really the perfect time to learn how to use your breath so that you can calm yourself down. And then when this is over, you'll still have the breath and you can calm yourself down when future stuff comes up, because life is uncertain beyond this pandemic. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? You can just raise your hand or put in the chat. Oh, Lynette said it first. Okay, you want us to clap for you, Lynette, too? I'll give you a little clap. So yeah, if anybody has any questions. So basically meditation, for those of you who are new, who don't know, you basically focus on your breath, and then your mind is going to wander. And then you're going to notice it wandering, maybe after 5 minutes, even sometimes. And you're going to say to yourself, thinking, and then you're going to come back to your breath. And then 2 or 3 seconds later, your mind is going to wander and another thought's going to pop in, which is totally normal. And you're going to be like thinking, notice you're thinking. It may take 6 minutes. It may take 30 seconds, who knows? And then you're going to come back to your breath. So the mind wanders, which is normal, and comes back to the breath. And that is building the muscle of mindfulness, the reps that you do to become more mindful. So everybody's mind wanders. It's not just yours. We are all in this, all have this thinking disease where we're constantly, ruminating about stuff and thinking. But the problem isn't that we're thinking. The problem is that we don't know we're thinking. So if you can start to notice the thoughts and notice when you're in an anxiety spiral, you can then bring yourself back to the breath. And that's what meditation does. It helps you notice when your mind is racing and can bring you back to the breath, even when you are not, even when, you're not meditating. So let's get started. So everybody, wait, I have a question. Hold on. I'm so excited. I have a question. How do you find time to meditate? I'm busier than ever. Good question, Lynette. I am busier than ever too, it seems, for whatever reason. But basically, they say, the experts say, if you don't have time to meditate, then you need to meditate twice that day, because that means that you are really busy and you need the meditation. So it really is, I mean, I'm sure you find time to exercise, Lynette. I know you pretty well. So if you can find the time to exercise, you can find the time to meditate. If you can find the time to go on Facebook, you can find the time. It's really just making a priority. And honestly, if you tack it on to something that you already do, it's much easier. So after I exercise is when I meditate. I just came up with that new routine during the pandemic. And after I exercise, I sit for 10 minutes and meditate. And then it's much easier when you attach it to something that you already do every day. So you guys can think about what you do every day and attach it to that. I like this. How long as a starter each day? Okay. Okay, when's the best time? Oh, someone else works out after meditating. Okay, so the best time to meditate is whenever you will do it. Okay, and that's what I've come to the conclusion, like whenever you find that you'll do it. So everybody has different schedules. Everybody has different things. Usually the experts say, wake up at 5 in the morning and do it. I'm never doing that. So that's out. But, I do it when it's good to do at the same time every day. But yeah, but you do it when you can and experiment with different things. I started doing it 5 minutes a day, and then I tried to increase it slowly. That's perfect. Meditate before bed is great with your kids. Yes, when you're away from your husband, perfect. Yeah, so it's really when you want to do it. And I would start with 5 minutes, and then you can increase. And a lot of people start with the apps. So there's a lot of meditations out there. If you go for being on this call, if you go to mindfulisthenewskinny.com, you can get all of my free meditations that go with my book, but I'm giving them to you for free. Mindfulisthenewskinny.com, log in there, and there's like 13 10-minute meditations, and they're all for different things. Some help you process your anxiety. Some help you when you're beating yourself up. I have something like the I'm beating myself up meditation and the I don't want to feel this meditation. I have all different meditations. So you guys can go in there and have access to the 13 meditations. There's also recipes in there and parables and lots of other stuff. So if you want to go in there, it's a great resource. So let's get started if nobody has any other questions. Okay. So just lie down in your bed. You can pop your camera off if you would like. If you're uncomfortable with, 27 people watching you lie down in your bed, you can turn your camera off, or you can leave it on however you want, whatever is best for you. If you don't know how to turn your camera off, you can leave it on, but it usually is right next to the mute button. Okay. So the meditation that we're going to do today is sort of like it's called a body scan, and I've sort of made it my own. And this actually is, little plug, one of the meditations in the Mindful is the New Skinny, resource area that we're going to do. It's called I'm Tense and I Don't Even Know It. Get to Know Your Body. All right, so just lie there and start breathing and just notice the rhythm of your breath. So you can close your eyes. And just start to notice yourself breathing. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. So just adjust yourself if you're not comfortable. You can put your hand on your belly and feel the breath. The belly will rise on the inhale and deflate on the exhale. This is called belly breathing. And you can even do this when you're not lying down, when you're tense. You just simply breathe into the belly. And when your belly is relaxed, your body is relaxed. Usually we breathe from our chest. So breathing from your belly can be really relaxing. So this connection with your body that we're going to do now will help you tune into the tensions throughout your day so that you can relax your shoulders when they're hunched or soften your jaw when it's clenched. It's getting to know your body and how you handle stress in the body. You can put a pillow underneath your knees to support you. However, you're comfortable. And this can really be done before bedtime and be extremely relaxing as you try to fall asleep. So, when the thoughts distract you, simply go back to your breath. Feeling the rhythm of the breath like a wave in the ocean, finding that rhythm. And just start to observe the body. Maybe you've noticed some sensations or tension. That's okay. Just breathe into those areas that need it, or shift your body if you're uncomfortable. And if the sensations become too uncomfortable to focus on, lean into them for a minute and then come out when it starts getting too intense. But we're actually leaning into any sensations or pain or uncomfortable feelings, inviting them in with tenderness and kindness. Sink into the bed and let it completely support you. Fully relax the body. Now we're going to start to focus on different body parts. So, starting with your toes, just focus on your toes. Notice any sensations in your toes. Maybe you notice the temperature. And then the bottom of your feet. Notice any tingling sensations you might feel in your feet. If you quiet your mind and really tune in, you'll be able to feel some energy or sensations in your feet. So take a minute to try to tune into that and see if you can feel it. And if you can't, that's okay too. Just breathe and don't let your mind wander into stories. And begin to focus on your calves, your lower legs, your thighs, without any commentary about your thighs. They're just there, no judgments. Now bring both of your full legs into your awareness. Feel your tailbone connecting with the bed. And then your abdomen, your chest, your lower back, your mid back, and your upper back. And feel your lungs breathing. And be grateful that your lungs are breathing. There are lots of great breathing exercises that you can do to increase your lung capacity and lung function. And this is a great time to start doing those breathing exercises. Now be responsive to what is present for you. Even as I mentioned the lungs and breathing, notice what came up for you, if that triggered you in some way. We just want to notice anything that comes up for us without any judgment. And notice what is present for you as you shift your attention up your body. And if you feel any tension, simply breathe into the area and send it compassion. It's so important to be kind to ourselves during this time, which is so difficult. Focusing now on your neck, relaxing your shoulders, your face. So often we tense up our faces without even knowing it. I catch myself all the time with a scrunched up face. Start to be mindful of that and notice that during your day. And the same with your jaw. Releasing your jaw, making sure it's not clenched. And you can just do this by slightly parting the jaw. And focus on resting your eyes in their sockets. Just let the eyes rest, feeling them heavy. And letting your brain rest in your head, letting it all go. Visualizing the tension just releasing from your body, from your head all the way to your toes, just flushing it out. And noticing your hands and your arms as they just lie there on the bed, completely relaxed. And broadening your attention to your whole body. And repeating this affirmation to yourself. When I am stressed, I will pay attention to my body and release the tension. When I'm stressed, I will pay attention to my body and release the tension. And because we are living with so much uncertainty, I'm going to read you one of my favorite parables that many of you have heard before, but for those of you who haven't, this is a treat. Once upon a time, there was a farmer in the central region of China. He didn't have a lot of money, and instead of a tractor, he used an old horse to plow his field. One afternoon, while working in the field, the horse dropped dead, and everyone in the village said, "Oh, what a horrible thing to happen." And the farmer said simply, "We'll see." He was so at peace and so calm that everyone in the village got together and, admiring his attitude, gave him a new horse as a gift. Everyone's reaction now was, "What a lucky man." And the farmer said, "We'll see." A couple days later, the new horse jumped a fence and ran away. And everyone in the village shook their heads and said, "What a poor fellow." And the farmer smiled and said, "We'll see." Eventually, the horse found his way home, and everyone again said, "What a fortunate man." And the farmer said, "We'll see." Later in the year, the farmer's young boy went out riding on the horse and fell and broke his leg. And everyone in the village said, "What a shame for the poor boy." And the farmer said, "We'll see." 2 days later, the army came into the village to draft new recruits. And when they saw that the farmer's son had a broken leg, they decided not to recruit him. And everyone said, "What a fortunate young man." And the farmer smiled again and said, "We'll see." The moral of the story is there's no use in overreacting to the events and circumstances of our everyday lives. Many times, what looks like a setback may actually be a gift in disguise. And when our hearts are in the right place, all events and circumstances are gifts that we can learn valuable lessons from. Everything we call a trial, a sorrow, or a duty, believe me, the gift is in there and the wonder of an overshadowing presence. So just take a few more breaths, keeping your whole body in your awareness. Noticing how you feel right now in this moment. Observing any thoughts that are coming in. Not telling yourself a story, not connecting with these thoughts, just simply noticing them come and go. Some of you may be extremely relaxed, and some may be frustrated that you're not relaxed. Whatever you are, mindfulness is all about just noticing without judgment. So, as long as you just notice where you are right now, you are practicing mindfulness. So, just keep breathing until you hear the sound of the bell. We're going to stay here for another minute and let you meditate on your own. No sudden movements, taking your time, opening your eyes when you're ready. If you feel like popping your camera back on before we go, just to say goodbye, that's great. If anybody wants to share how that meditation was for them, I'm happy to hear. You can just raise your hand or put it in the chat, or maybe we'll put it in the chat. So if you do want to share anything about how you're feeling, or if you have questions about that, you can just put it in the chat. Oh, very relaxed, Jen. So restful. Thank you. It was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love this part. Excellent. I'm so glad you guys feel good. That makes me feel so good. Feel at peace. So relaxed. Was anybody not able to relax? Because that's common too. And I just want to make sure that those people don't feel weird or defective if you weren't able to relax, because this is a really crazy time where the mind does race. So if you weren't able to relax, I get it. I'm with you. And it's okay. Just be where you are. Don't feel pressure to be like everybody else during this time. I remember the first time I did this body scan, it was like for 45 minutes. I completely fell asleep and woke up, and they were still going on about the chest and the shoulders. And I was like, completely missed the whole thing. but other times I'm not even able to quiet my mind at all. So you'll have different experiences. Um, every time you meditate will be a different experience. And even if you can just meditate 2 minutes a day, you'll be very surprised how 2 minutes can actually relax your sympathetic, relax your sympathetic into the parasympathetic. I always get that confused. But if anybody else has a question, you can put it into the chat. Yes, Lynn, you should make this a priority. Yes, love it. Um, so like I said, a lot of the meditation apps, some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. Um, I like Insight Timer. They have a lot of good free ones on there. And then, of course, I gave you all my meditations for free for coming to this call. So that's Mindful is the New Skinny. How could you forget? Um, and if you are not on my email list and you want emails notifying you about the meditations or about any other events I'm doing, you can sign up at jodybarretts.com. I'll put it in the chat. And if you're not in my Mindful Moms Facebook group, you can come join us at Mindful Moms. I post a lot of good stuff in there, and other people do too. And it's a great community where we're supporting each other. Okay, any young kid, any meditations you can do with young kids? Um, I'm sure there are. I don't really know. Does anybody know and want to, I know Peloton now has a family meditation I saw, which was kind of cool. I think my son likes the Calm app. Headspace has a kids one. That's great. I didn't know that. So yeah, so I'm not really sure, but Headspace Kids, I guess try, or just like Google it, I'm sure. But if anybody has a recommendation, oh, tons, Marta says. So if you want to put any of those suggestions in the chat, you can do that. Insight Timer also has some as well. And if anybody really is struggling, um, please get in touch with me. I'm offering a few sessions a week for free to people who are really struggling with this. So if that is you, and you're really having a hard time with what's happening, please reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat, jodybarretts@gmail, and I'm happy to give you a free session. Okay, so Shelby just put some kids apps in there also. Does anybody have any last questions, comments? I'm going to unmute you all. Okay, you're all unmuted. So if anyone wants to say something.
I want to say I feel very relaxed. I don't know how to chat. I don't know how to type. I don't see it on my iPad. So I'm just telling you verbally how much I love you. And thank you so much.
Oh, thanks so much for being here. It's so
Marcia,
great.
your first Zoom.
Well,
It was your first Zoom call? That's exciting.
I didn't do it. Donald did it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I'm so honored. So everybody's saying thank you. You're welcome, everybody.
I
So
just wanted to say that I was using a heating pad because I have back problems. And it's really, I found it very helpful.
oh, good. I'm glad. That's awesome. I have like a neck wrap. Do you guys have those things where you heat it in the microwave and oh, it's so good.
Problem for me is every time I lie down, one of my felines decides that they want to sit on, sleep on me. So but that was with this pairing. It was actually quite calming. Ollie enjoyed it.
That's wonderful. Animals can be very comforting during this
Oh my
time.
God, they save us. Yeah.
I even saw on Facebook somebody post like the South Florida animal shelter is empty now for the first
They're all
time.
empty, but
A
they're
lot of them are.
It's going to happen when it's over. They're all going to be brought back and abandoned.
No.
That's
No,
what they
we'll
say.
keep them.
God, no,
not.
that's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's awful. Don't say that. We didn't hear that part.
That's
All the animals will be rescued and safe and happy. Those are the kinds of stories that you can tell yourself, okay? So when you're
Silver
making
lining,
stories
yes.
in your head about what's going to happen in the future, make them pleasant because you can decide what kind of stories you want to tell yourself, right? So make them
That's
good,
it.
make them happy. and pleasant. Does anybody else want to share before we go? So this is going to be a 3-part series. Namaste in bed. For those of you who know me, know that I love to sleep and stay in bed. So this is actually a dream come true for me, a Namaste in bed series, where I can just like be with you guys right from the comfort of my bed. Is really nothing better. So I'm happy to do this, and thanks for all coming to bed with me.
Hey,
Thank you.
Jody, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So it's the next 2 Thursdays at 8 o'clock, and it will be the same link that you have tonight. And next Thursday, you'll receive another email, and then the following Thursday, you'll receive another email at 7 a.m. And no, I'm not up at 7, but I have scheduled it because people are like, you're up. I can't believe you're up. I am not up, but I scheduled it, so it will be.
Best time to go walking. Nobody's around.
I'm sure it is. I'm just not up yet. So, so the next 2
See
Thursdays,
tomorrow in my neighborhood.
hope to see you guys. And thanks all for being here. And hope you get a really good rest. Notice your restful sleep tonight based on this meditation. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night's sleep.
Hi, Jody.
You
Thank you so
too.
much.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you so
Mm.
much.